Hey everyone, me Kevin here. I need to apologize for 4 things because I have definitely come across as quite damn flippant and flip-floppy, and I'll tell you, yesterday I went to see All American Rejects Gives You Hell and I totally got pumped up, but I was wearing flip-flops too. Anyway, I did bring my RuneScape anti-venom potion here just to keep me alive through this. It's Saturday. I'm gonna try to keep this short, but I definitely owe you some explaining. And look, this isn't to try to get subscribers. This is just to apologize to those of you who keep coming back to my videos, and you might be scratching your head going, damn, Kevin, like, what's going on in your life? All right, so first, live streams. Thousands of you love and appreciate the live streams at market open and close. Every time I run a poll, like, should I bring them back? Y'all love it. I love it. I love the soundboard I have. I like was so pumped and hyped to come back to doing the market and close live streams this week. And here's what happened. Combined with my course member live stream, when I brought back the market open and closing live streams, I realized I was live for about an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes, it's about 3.5 hours, plus the prep time, not research time, like that's extra, that's like default, but like the prep time of being changed and my hair's ready and my computers are on and the equipment's working or whatever, right? I was probably spending somewhere around 4.5 to 5 hours a day just doing live streams. In fact, if you look at like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think I posted a combined like 2 videos outside the live streams because I'm like, oh man, I ain't got time. And so you might be thinking like, well, you were able to do it during the pandemic in 2020 and 2021. What changed? Well, what changed is we're launching a $50 to $100 million business. That's the Series A, right? And so now I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna balance being live for 4.5 hours a day while trying to map out a property management team, a software dev team, an acquisition model, the perfect model for perfecting our artificial intelligence that we already have, or augmented reality, like all of the things that are going into this amazing business, which I'm not even gonna take a salary for, is taking a lot of time. And so I don't have the time to make awesome regular YouTube videos, be live for 4.5 hours a day, provide the value that I promised to my course members, and have family time, and also run a startup. So unfortunately, I can't do the live streams, and I'm totally blaming time on this. It's not about money. I know some people think that it's like, oh, well, you're just doing this for the algorithm or money. Look, I mean, it's sad when I lose subscribers for the live streams, but oh well, that's what happens when your name's live and people are like, oh, I don't like that guy anymore. I don't like his face. I want to punch it or whatever, right? But like, for example, the company I'm making, that's like my life's dream and goal. I'm not even taking a salary on it. I don't even get paid until after it IPOs in the future at a multiple valuation. That's it. Like, that's the deal I'm making with people who invest in that company. So this is all time motivated. I really apologize for that because I said I'd bring him back and then I flip-flopped on it. I really apologize. That was a failure of mine to not properly plan that out. Second failure, fitness challenge. You might remember last year, like towards the end of last year, I'm like, oh yeah, I should do a fitness challenge. Dude, that fizzled so freaking hard. But you know when it really hit me that I was a total disaster was when I went skiing this January. So I go skiing this January, and I like to go skiing every year. I didn't during the pandemic, so I was off for about 2 years, and then I go skiing this January, here 2022. And then I'm like, what the hell? I can't get down the slope without stopping 2 or 3 times. I can't get down the double blues or even the blacks and without stopping. That's because my thighs were on fire. I mean, I remember going on this one black after having skied for the day, and I go to make the turn, and my thighs are like, oh, and they basically give out, and I fall on this black, and we called the Patrick Starfish. Of course, it was under the chairlift, so everybody on the chairlift saw me. But I'm going spinning down, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna stop eventually. And I'm like, no, I'm speeding up, going right for the trees. It's terrible. Anyway, what happened was, I realized, oh my gosh, I weighed before the pandemic, and I think this is underweight, but I weighed 137 pounds. It's like, okay, go to the gym and add some muscle. Like, I get it, right? But when I went skiing, I weighed about 180 pounds. And I'm like, oh, that's a 43-pound difference. That's like COVID 20 times 2 and then some hamburgers. Like, whoa. Okay, so I got destroyed, and I've really been focusing the last like 3 to 4 months on actually incorporating running into my life again. And now I've added a gym in the garage again. It's really cool. Maybe we'll do a tour one day if y'all want to see it. But I gotta lose weight, add muscle. It's a goal. Not necessarily doing the fitness challenge, but definitely focusing on fitness again. And I wanted to apologize for the flip-flop and mention my new inspiration. January was pretty bad. Okay, a lot of bad realizations happened in January. Which brings me to, of course, my third apology. And this is like, I wish I had a solution for this, but I'm gonna give you the solutions that I'm working on for this, but I don't have a perfect solution for this. So let me give you an example. In March of 2020, I bought Peloton for like 29 bucks. I didn't get the low of like 19 bucks then, and I thought I was making a good move buying it at like 29 bucks, all the way up to about 80 bucks. Unfortunately, even though I made videos being bullish on Peloton, I sold all of my Peloton in July. On July 19th, 2021, I sold all of my Peloton. This is a Discord alert right here for the Stocks and Psychs course members. Sold alert, just closed all Peloton shares and options, green today, and see web traffic, chat more in morning live. And in that morning live stream, I explained, look, orders are going down, prices are going down, web traffic's going down. This is very dangerous and is a very bad catalyst. I have to get out of this. The fundamentals are changing. I'm getting out. The problem with that though is, if you weren't a course member, you wouldn't have known that. Now, I did in live streams, like market open and close live streams, later say, oh, by the way, I'm out of Peloton. But unless you caught those mentions, if you just watched the original video, you weren't a course member and you didn't catch those mentions in the lives, you wouldn't have known that I'm like, warning, warning, fundamentals changed. And that made me realize, like, wait a minute, there's got to be a way, because you go to Webull right now, the thing's sitting at like $11, right? That's crazy. And July 19th was over here at, what is this, 113 bucks, something like that. So I got out around 112, 113 bucks, and then this is what came. And I'm like, well, damn, like, I wish there was a way that I could take control of people's money who wanted me to, and make sure that doesn't happen, or at least try to prevent that, right? Because that way, if I sell, you would sell. And so here's what I realized so far, and what I apologize for is not having the answer yet on this, like exactly what to do. But there are really two main things, well, there are three things you could do. You could be a registered investment advisor and literally take control of people's brokerages. I'm not interested in doing that. You could have a hedge fund, which is very interesting because with a hedge fund, you can take investments from people, you can trade options and derivatives, but then you're a hedgie, right? Which maybe that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know how desirable that is because hedge funds also have high fees, usually anywhere between 1% to 2%, and then maybe performance fees on top of that. Although those are against the rule against the law in California, so you can't charge that performance fee for the California folks. You can only charge that to people in other states. It's so freaking complicated. Anyway, the other option is an ETF, which is cool because it has tax advantages over a hedge fund. But ETFs have big compliance headaches where, like, if you're constantly making YouTube videos, your YouTube videos can be considered ads for an ETF, and those need to go through regulatory compliance. And if they don't, then you could get in big trouble. This is why I believe when Kathy Wood, for example, posts a video, she has it scrubbed by her attorneys first, and that's different from being like live on CNBC or whatever. There are loopholes for that, but she has compliance people scrub it first. And I think also in the past she's had her comments off a lot because of those compliance rules, because they don't want it to come across as like a certain type of form or whatever. I don't really know everything. It's complicated. I apologize for not having the answer. These are things I've thought of. If you have any insights, let me know. The comments are on, which reminds me and brings me to the comments section. Okay, the comments, let me tell you this. When I ran for governor in California, I had people come up to me and say, Kevin, you have to do something. You have to solve the spam on YouTube, because people are like, I've lost $5,000 to $10,000 to scammers in the comments section thinking it was you that I was talking to. Because you go over here and there are two types of scammers. One is, look at this. This is just the top sorted on my urgent warning to investors video from yesterday. I must say, you're the most erudite and smart analyst or whatever. And then they basically start talking to you about, oh, contact Kyle Miller on Telegram. Or you get the other ones where they just reply to everyone's comments like these. Oh, text me, and they put your logo and like a number or whatever. These are all scams, and I could go in here and I can hide them, which I used to do for like 2 hours a day, hide them, and it deletes it, and then they have to make a new account. But the problem is they just make a new account. These spam bots are so prolific. Like, Elon's worried about spam on Twitter, man. Don't even get me started on YouTube, okay? And so I flip-flopped on this idea of like turning them off. It's also much more like mentally healthy for me to have them off. So there's also that benefit because just like, I don't know, some of the comments, man, oh, some of you don't like bear markets. Damn. But anyway, the spam is so bad. I've been flip-flopping back and forth on this. I don't really know what to do with the comments. It's so freaking spammy. Like part of me is just like, I just won't look. But then the spam is absolutely absurd. It's terrible. And don't ever go to a credit card video and expect there not to be spam. Like, those are the worst when it comes to spam. Okay. Look, the last thing is I just want to apologize for being so abrupt for my flip-flop in January. In January, on January 5th, I made this really detailed video about why the Fed just had the worst flip-flop ever, and it was really concerning. But I was still in buy the dip mode, and a lot of people were like, how are you buy, and then all of a sudden you flip-flop. And the reality is, the way it is like, I had my buy the dip mode was on. It's just like, I'm in buy the dip mode, on. It's like a robot, right? And then I'm researching, and I'm like, oh my God, oh my gosh, I see it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is bad. Oh, I see what's going to happen now. And I mapped out like, oh, Robinhood's going to go to $9. Matterport's going to go under $7. And it did, like, all these things happened. The Federal Reserve was probably going to push us into a technical recession because it didn't take much more than a few dollars of less spending compared to last year to be in a technical recession. Like, these are all the things we mapped out in January. And I'm like, we're probably going to go down another 20%. And we did. We went down another 23% on the NASDAQ, a lot more on some of the individual stocks where I'm like, you can't be in these. I also said that I think small caps would rally back big once we get to the bottom and we go risk on again, which you started seeing that. I mean, even like a loser stock like Tattooed Chef was up 12% on Friday, right? That was the small cap thing. Like those things all came true, but I was really abrupt with this. I apologize with this because it's like I was in buy mode and then all of a sudden I flip-flop. Like, how does it feel like? How do you buy one day and then flip the next? It's just because all of the research finally, like, I drew the string between all of it and I'm like, this is what's gonna happen. Now I ended up being right. I didn't perfectly time getting back in the market. I'm back in the market, right? I'm 96% in the market. I didn't perfectly time it. I think I did a decent job. I could have done better, absolutely. But I just wanted to apologize for being abrupt. So there you have it, okay? You've got apologies for, I think, everything I need to apologize for. If you think there's something I haven't apologized for yet, let me know in the comments down below. But I think we've done good. Live streams, fitness, the way I buy and sell, and the January flip-flop, and then also the comments flip-flop. I guess that's 5 flip-flops instead of 4. Anyway, thank you so much. Have a good day. I love you all, and I'm only making this video because I really do appreciate you, and I apologize for seeming like a madman. Hopefully this adds some clarity.